Hi everyone! Welcome to Advanced Studio Classroom's Culture Chronicles. I'm Peter and I'm joined as always by Rebecca. Hello, Rebecca.
Peter, it's great to be here. Where are we taking everyone today?
Oh, this month we're taking everyone north from where we are here in Taipei up to the country of Mongolia. We're going to the Naadam Festival in Mongolia from July 11th to the 15th. It's kind of a nice long weekend there. The Naadam Festival. Naadam is Mongolian word for games. And so in a way, the Naadam Festival is the Olympics of Mongolia. It's centered around games, around competitions. Three main ones: horseback riding, archery with the bows and arrows, and wrestling. Rebecca, which of those three sports have you ever participated in or would you like to participate in?
Horseback riding, archery, and wrestling. I have not done any of these three competitively, but I have ridden a horse. And I think I'm very bad at it. So if I had to try, perhaps horseback riding should not be one of the things I try.
Okay.
So maybe archery.
Okay, archery, sure. I did archery once at an amusement park. That was about it. I enjoyed it. I was not very good, but I've also ridden a horse once. And wrestling, I haven't done for a while. I was never very competitive in my weight class when I did it back in school. So this would be a spectator event for me and Rebecca if we go there, and maybe for you too, to watch real good wrestling, real good horseback riding, and real good archery. In fact, I wonder if in some cases, you get to see archery and horseback riding combined, like they do in the movies sometimes, where the guy's on the horse and he's, Legolas in Lord of the Rings. That must be something. I'd like to see that. Maybe they have that at the festival. Anyway, the point is, it's a celebration of Mongolian culture through these games. The games were originally created, the whole festival was created as a means of training the young men. Back in the days, the festival is like about 1,000 years old. And back then, it was a rougher time, and tribes in Mongolia would go to war more often. And so this was a means of training people to stay in shape. Now, when we talk about Mongolia, of course, there's a particular word that describes 40% of the Mongolian population. Good word to know. Rebecca, do you know what it is?
We would use the word nomadic. So a nomad is someone who moves from place to place. They never live in any one place permanently. And about half the population, as Peter just said, 40% of Mongolia, the people are nomadic. They move from place to place. And why is that? Why are so many Mongolians nomads?
Right. Well, partly it's the environment that they live in. Mongolia is in a part of land, a part of the earth called the steppes. S-T-E-P-P-E-S, not like steps on a stairs. This is with two P's. If you see two P's, then it's referring to a kind of land which is very flat, very wide open, very few trees, grassy. So it's kind of like a desert, but not with sand, not barren like a desert, but it is very dry, it's very arid, and the only things that there's enough water to support is shrubs and grass, very, very, very few trees. And so Mongolian people finding themselves in that part of the earth, a huge part of the earth, most of eastern Russia is steppe land. They have to keep moving because what are you going to do? They will find a pasture for their farm animals to graze on, to feed them, but eventually it gets grazed out. There's no more grass to eat, and so they have to move on. It has to do with the change in the seasons too, that sort of thing. But they have these. They live in these little. I shouldn't say little, they're actually quite big, tents, circular tent, about the size of maybe a coffee shop in Taipei. If you took out all the walls and the tables and the chairs and just had the basic setup there. They're called gers, G-E-R-S. Another Mongolian word, just means that, you know, these tents that the nomads live in. And it's a tough life. It's used to be the way everyone lived, but with the rise of cities now and with sort of just the general increasing sophistication of culture overall, the nomadic lifestyle is being harder and harder to sustain. And in fact, there is a section, like a ger village, I think it's called, outside of Ulaanbaatar, the capital, in which the Gers live, because they face, well, you've read a little bit about this, Rebecca, right? What sort of problems do they face in these Gers?
Well, the reason that they start living in the cities is because, well, part of it is urbanization. A lot of people are just in the process of moving from the villages to the cities. And a lot of times it's because the nomadic lifestyle is no longer sustainable for many people. And the reason, a huge part of it is really global warming and extreme weather, making, you know, Mongolia even drier than before. It was always very dry, but now it's even more dry. So it's hard to find good pastures. So many people have been forced into moving to the city. And then a lot of them just live in their gers in the city. So that's why we have ger village.
Right, right.
Yes.
It's a part of the city just with gers. There are no tall buildings or skyscrapers or public transportation. It's just a place where the gers set up and they all just live out there. And, you know, if you've ever gone camping, it's fun to spend maybe a weekend or a few days in a tent, but months at a time, there are, you know, certain aspects of living a human life that become difficult when you're just limited to that one tent in terms of sanitation, you know, getting rid of human waste and such, in terms of air pollution, breathability, because you need to burn some fire, you need to have an oven to keep that tent warm, to prepare your food, all sorts of problems come up. So it's a real challenge in Mongolia now, this ger situation as the nomadic lifestyle begins to become a thing of the past. Rebecca, do you think you could ever live as a nomad?
That's actually a really interesting question, because these days a lot of people, they are what we call digital nomads.
Yes.
Digital nomads, like, they usually have some kind of career, like maybe they're a computer programmer, or they do some kind of work where they can work remotely, and then they might move to a cheaper place to live. Like, for example, maybe they live in some small town in Thailand, and then they just do their work remotely. So that's called a digital nomad. I think being a digital nomad would be fun for maybe a year or two, but I don't think I want to be a digital nomad forever.
Right, me too, I think. Whether a digital or a physical nomad, I think it would be fun to try, you know, but I don't, to just do it indefinitely without having the option of settling in a house somewhere, in a town somewhere. I think after a while the adventure side of it might begin to wear off a little. But anyway, this is a chance, the Naadam Festival, to see Mongolia, to see the capital city, Ulaanbaatar, and perhaps even visit the Ger village there, and above all, to see wrestling, horseback riding, and archery, maybe some of them at the same time. That is the Naadam Festival, July 11th through the 15th. But that is all that we have for you this month here at Culture Chronicles. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to come back next month. We will have another topic for you, another way to understand the culture, the rich human culture that is all over the earth. But for today, I'm Peter.
I'm Rebecca, saying goodbye. See you again.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.